one-stop shop about what you need to know about taxes. You could get it here on this program. Within the next 20-something minutes, you're going to be privileged to get all the information you need about taxes and taxation in Ogun State. I am Tunji Akintayo, and I'm so glad, always glad to be here to bring this program to us, to let us see what taxes are used for and the importance of paying your taxes. Is brought to you, like I said, by the Internal Revenue Service. This program is reaching you live on OGTV 25 UHF. You could also get us as we are working, as we are transmitting now on DSTV channel 260, on GoTV channel 100, and on StarTimes channel 113. You can also join the conversation online at Ogun TV on Facebook. So, be part of the program. Let's get all our friends to sit down for the next 20 minutes or so, and let's get another edition of IRS Digest going. Our guest is already in the house. When we come back after this time out, we're going to bring him on, and we're going to look at the issue on the front burner for discussion today. Stay with us. This is IRS Digest. Welcome. We'll be right back.
My people, shey una sabi say na with social responsibility to pay tax to Ogun State government so life go fit cool for our state.
Yes, so
if all of us join body pay with tax as e suppose be, this go help Ogun State government carry better jollyment knack for ground like better road, water, hospital, school, plus including job opportunity for we children, small business owners and entrepreneurs dem, people wey get school and hospital, una wey get handwork, trade union member, plus market men and women. Shey una go pay una taxes o.
Yes, so
make una pay your tax to carry better tomorrow. Give you and your children no wait till dem force you to pay una tax na the law and na una civic responsibility. Remember say for Ogun State to better, we go join and do am.
All right, welcome back to a fresh edition of IRS Digest. Just before we went on that break, we were telling you that this is your one-stop shop about taxes in Ogun State. And if you watch the jingle, some of those jingles we showed just before we came on now, you could see all the IRS offices all across the state. So at every point in time, very close to you, there is an IRS office that you could get in and do your transaction. I have somebody in the house who is going to be taking us through another level of discussion this afternoon. But just before that, let's remind us again that you can join the conversation live on Ogun TV at Facebook. You see us now streaming live. Make your comments, we'll read your comments, and then we'll attend to whatever issues you want us to attend to. Today we're looking at a very important topic, and that's assessment. And our guest in the house is someone who should know. Actually, when you say somebody is a CEO, you should know that he is a chief executive officer who knows his onions. We have in the house the CEO tax of the Internal Revenue Service in Ogun State, Mr. Akinwande Sunday Ajadi. Mr. Sunday Akinwande, I'd like to welcome you, sir, to Irs Digest.
Thank you, sir.
All right, sir. Just like I said, we want to look at assessment. Maybe because when a student is in class and the teacher says he's going to do continuous assessment, that's a kind of, you know, a review of the activities is done in the process of the term. But now, when we come to taxes, what is assessment, sir?
Thank you, sir. Firstly, assessment is the process of determining the taxable income of a person.
Okay.
And applying that with statutory rates
Okay.
to compute tax.
Okay.
Secondly, assessment is also the valuation of a property
Okay.
or profit for the process or for the purpose of tax computation.
Okay.
So what I mean in essence is that for an assessment to be done
Yeah.
into taxation,
Yeah.
you have to first of all get the income of a taxable person.
Okay. Just before we get to the income,
Yes.
now let's look at the importance of assessment, because one of the challenges that the information we get, the feedback we get is that people don't keep records.
Yes.
So people don't even have anything on ground, more or less, Now, what is the importance of assessment now within the framework of tax,
Thank you, sir. The importance of assessment. It is the function of tax payment.
Okay.
If there is no assessment, the payment cannot flow. What I mean by this, there must be, first of all, an assessment. And before assessment is raised, there must be an income before the tax authority.
Okay.
So when the income is determined, then you can now use it to compute your tax or taxation.
If I get you right, sir, so that means that primarily taxes are not just done haphazardly.
No, it can't be done without income.
Okay, income is number one.
Income is the function of tax.
Tax income
Yes.
is
Yes.
and after income.
After income,
Yeah.
then the tax authority will use that income to do their computation. Then you now arrive at tax payable by taxpayer.
Yes.
So which means that is why it is necessary for a taxable person or taxpayer to fill in Form A, which is referred to as annual declaration info or annual returns. So without this, it will be difficult for tax authority to get a tax computed. So with it, tax authority will use it as a yardstick to compute the tax payable by taxable person or taxpayer.
Yeah, I like the dimension this discussion is going, because we need to constantly bring this to the notice of our viewers. I like the fact that you have talked about income.
Yes.
I like the fact that you have talked about the fact that, after income, then you can have assessment.
Yes, that's it.
And then, so for anybody who is watching us now, for that assessment to be properly done, for tax authority, so that there would not be any, misgivings between the two parties.
Yes, sir.
What is important? What do you think everybody watching now who is, on assessment, what is important, what is the main thing that that person has to do so that that assessment will be easy?
Yes, sir. For the viewers at home, yes, what we need to do, first of all, in a year of assessment, okay, you need to fill Form A, okay, which is referred to as annual tax returns. Okay. Inside that form, yeah, it consists some information which is required by the tax authority, okay, and to be completed by the taxable person, okay, or taxpayer, okay, such as the full name, okay, of the taxable person or taxpayer, yeah, the address, okay, as well as the income, okay, derived from his or her business. Okay. So with this, it will be easier for the tax authority to lay hands on the information submitted by the taxpayer. Yeah. Then the income will now be processed, okay, and the outcome will show the tax payable. If you give an accurate information about your business, yeah, like that I've mentioned earlier on, yeah, it will be easier without any itch between the two parties. Okay. So by so doing, the taxpayer will also be happy that this is the true picture of my business, and this is what I'm paying to the government as in lieu of tax. So that is how it goes.
All right, sir. Now, if you watch the chest caption now, we have assessment and then direct assessment.
Yes, sir.
So what's the difference between assessment and direct assessment, or are they the same thing?
Yes, there are a little difference.
Okay.
But before we go to direct assessment, sir,
okay,
let me quickly talk about this.
Okay.
We have two ways to assessment.
Okay.
There are two classes of assessment.
Okay.
One, we have assessment from tax authority.
Okay.
Then we have other one from taxpayer himself, which is known as self-assessment.
Okay.
Which is known as self-assessment.
Okay.
Yes, let me give a little explanation on the two.
Okay.
One, the assessment from tax authority, yeah, are raised when the taxpayer has failed, yeah, to submit Form A, okay, or annual tax returns. Okay. So if he has failed, it is the duty of the tax authority to raise assessment on the taxable person. Okay. So that is the assessment from the tax authority. We call that assessment a BOJ assessment. That is what he failed taxpayer should pay. Having failed to submit his statements of affairs of his business.
Okay.
So if he has done that, it will be easier to lay hands that, yes, he will look at the information supplied. These are the decision. This is where it's making it. Okay. This is where it's not making it from the business. It is the affairs of the business. But where the taxpayer or taxpayer fail to do that, okay, yes, the tax authority is empowered, yeah, by Section 54 to raise tax assessment,
okay,
to the taxable person.
Before we go on break, the what you have just said now, so it's that judgment that happens. Is it that judgment that happens when the tax authority now goes, possibly to the market and say, this is how much you have to pay, this is, and then they say, is it because they failed, yes, to do what they are supposed to do?
Yes.
That's why,
yes, sir.
Because I want us to
know that it, yes,
that.
Sir. Thank you. At the beginning of the assessment year,
yeah,
which is usually by January, okay, to March,
yeah,
the law allows taxpayer,
okay,
or taxable person, okay, to file in their annual returns.
Okay.
That is within 90 days,
okay,
of the beginning of the year.
Okay.
You are to file your annual returns to the tax authority
Okay.
So by so doing, it will be easier for the tax authority to begin to raise assessment. But where that is not submitted on time, then we are empowered to go out and begin to raise assessments
for everybody.
For everybody. That is why you see people, the assessment is on the high side, is too outrageous. If they have done what is needful at the beginning of the assessment year, then we will look at it and we know that this is what is liable to be paid as tax by the taxpayer.
Okay, I really enjoy, and I hope our viewers are actually watching, because maybe we present this program. A lot of the times people come to us, oh, this is how much they said I should pay. This is how much. So it means that they failed to do what they are supposed to do. Exactly. That's why that assessment is raised. Okay. You're watching Irs Digest. We're going to take a break on the program. We're looking at assessment. We're also looking at direct assessment in taxation. Our guest is Mr. Akinwan this Sunday, the CEO Tax, the Internal Revenue Service. We'll take a short break, and this short break, we're going to see some of the road projects of government. And this is also to let us see where taxes are used for, the benefits that we get for paying taxes. We're going to show, some of the projects of government very shortly, and then we'll come back with our guests to look at other issues.
shey una sabi say na with social responsibility to pay tax to Ogun State government so life go fit cool for our state.
Yes, ooo.
If all of us join body pay with tax as e suppose be, this go help Ogun State government carry better jollyment knack for ground like better road, water, hospital, school, plus including job opportunity for we children, small business owners and entrepreneurs dem, people wey get school and hospital, una wey get handwork, trade union member, plus market men and women, shey una go pay una taxes o.
Yes, ooo.
Make una pay your tax o to carry better tomorrow. Give you and your children no wait till dem force you to pay una tax na the law and na una civic responsibility. Remember say for Ogun State to better, we go join and do am.
We have to join hands for Ogun State to be better. Just before that jingle, you saw some of the road projects of government, telling you, that your money is not just thrown into the dustbin. And for people to know that, well, that's the benefit of paying taxes, and we'll get more dividends, as it were, of democracy. We're still looking at assessment and direct assessment in taxation, and our guest is Mr. Sunday Akinwande, the CEO tax of the Internal Revenue Service. Now, sir, before we went on the break, we were looking at assessment. Now, does the taxpayer, does he have any right? Can he assess himself? Can I, for example, assess myself and say, okay, based on so, this is how much I have to pay?
Yes, sir. Under Section 44 of Personal Income Tax, taxpayer or taxable person has the right to assess himself, his or herself.
Okay.
You can do that And while that is done, you can forward same to the nearest tax authority, showing that this is what I feel I can pay.
Okay.
Then the tax authority will have a look at that information, that assessment that you have raised by yourself, then whether it is valid or to be amended, then if it's necessary to be amended, the taxpayer will be informed accordingly. But under the tax law, they have every right to do a self-assessment to the tax authority.
But then, at the final analysis, even if they do their self-assessment, it's still subject to whatever the tax authority. If the tax authority agrees with that assessment, then it goes. But if it doesn't,
yes, it's subject to review.
It
can be reviewed upward or downward.
Downward?
No, it all depends.
Okay.
It all depends. You know, sir, if a taxpayer has a genuine case to present, that this is the state of affairs of my business. Vis-a-vis the problem I am confronting, these are the situation, this is what I feel I can pay. Yes, status quo may remain on that, but if you feel necessary, it can be jacked up by the tax authority.
So there is a human face after all.
We give a human face to every assessment. We give a human face.
All right, sir. Now, finally, let's look at direct assessment quickly before we bring the program to a close.
Yes, sir.
Direct assessment.
Okay, we are going to direct assessment.
Yes.
Direct assessment, it is the taxes raised on self-employed person. Self-employed persons such as the professionals, the contractors, the petty traders, the sole proprietors of a business, and so on like that, on whom it is imposed, e.g. the income of a person. So it is that is direct assessment, and it is in two ways. We have direct taxes and we have indirect taxes. The direct taxes are the taxes that are paid by people and organization. So depending on their income. So that is direct taxes. The indirect taxes are the ones that are levied on production and consumption. That is on goods and services. So example of that is consumption tax. Those are the two ways to
that. Unfortunately, the time, you know, I don't know what we have to do with time. I really wish we could go on and look at other issues, but time is not against us. The time is really against us today. And I'm sure our viewers have got one or two things from what you've been able to expound to us. Our guest has been Mr. Akinwande Sunday, the CEO tax of the Internal Revenue Service. We looked at assessment. We also looked at direct assessment in taxation. Mr. Akinwande Sunday Ajani, I want to thank you so much for being part of this program today.
Thank you, sir.
All right, and until next week when we come your way again, please remember to pay your taxes and levies promptly. It's your responsibility and it's the law.